Alright everyone, welcome back again. We're gonna check out what these green markers are for the moment before continuing on with the red marker and continue on with the main story. Someone's talking on the other side of the door. Wowzers, an exclusive interview like this sure makes my day. What are your thoughts on developments since the trade conference 2 years ago? And what's your take on the recent incidents in the Principality? I've answered those questions for an ardent press before. Grace, was it? Listen, Grace, it's all very well that you're so motivated, but you should think your questions through beforehand. Somehow it hurts that much more being told off by a stunningly beautiful woman. It sounds like they're in the middle of a spirited conversation. Anyway, let's visit the Borough waiting room for now. Oh, so that's all that was? I thought it was gonna be something more. What about this one then? President Rocksmith, in your opinion, how's the prognosis for Calvert looking? Not too bad, I'd say, for now. Lady Mildean's sharp intel like this surely something to be feared, isn't it? The situation being as it is, I'm determined to see things through on my end. President Rocksmith. What the new party does with the country once it's in their hands, though, I really couldn't say. I might have some information that could be of interest to you. Rocksmith's term is nearly over. I shouldn't interrupt their conversation. I'll come back a bit later. Alright, so I guess we just really have to go to the thing then. And here I thought that it was going to be like a mini side quest of sorts. Chloe, how are you? I'm well, thanks. Haven't seen you in 3 months. Good to see you again, Joshua, Ren, and you guys. Been a while. Tita and I saw you in Gransel before we set off for Arabonia. I'm so happy to see you again. It was the same for us, but we headed for Calvert instead. How's the Queen? Very well, thanks for asking. After her. We couldn't have attended with all the attention around her right now. That's why she sent me instead. I see, she needed someone trustworthy to represent her. But if these talks are so crucial, why didn't Julia and Sig come too? I imagine some urgent matters kept them busy. Sig hardly has a moment to spare working as a messenger. I see. Based off that, I suppose I have an idea of what's going on. Yeah. I thought people were just making small talk over tea and biscuits in there. Can you share anything with us, Dad? We haven't seen each other in half a year, and it's straight to business with neither hello nor hug. I suppose a father can't hope for love and affection from his daughter once she's left the nest and become independent. Don't guilt-trip me for not being all sugary sweet. You seem well anyway. You too, Sunshine. Joshua, everything alright? Yes, all's going well. So Chloe's bodyguard today, Dad? Don't tell me that's all you're here for. I won't believe it. Well, have some patience. Everything will be revealed soon enough. Ren, did you get taller? You've grown a lot since I last saw you. I'm only taller by 5 reg. I'll catch up to Tita at this rate. No, please don't. It took me so long to stop looking like a kid. Don't worry, Tita. You're still growing. You're only 16. Estelle had just joined the Bracers when she was your age. It feels like it was only yesterday we were traveling around the world together. I was a Sky Bandit back then. You might be older now, Estelle, but you're as happy-go-lucky as ever, I see. That's not the worst thing in the world, is it? As for you, Josette, even grown up, you never lost that little urchin attitude. It's part of my personal identity, you see. Tita, I hear you've been making a name for yourself. Your grandfather had nothing but praise for you. Apparently, though, your mom worries about you a lot. She's just a worrywart. I write her a lot to let her know I'm fine. I already messaged her to tell her everything's okay. She's mentioned something about Agate getting his comeuppance next time she sees him too. She said she was drafting a new research project involving human test subjects. What? Mom? It's like the good old times again. That reminds me, Estelle, did you see Zin when you were in Calvert? I did. It was just before I came to Arabonia. He asked me to pass messages for him to my dad and a few others. Oh, brilliant. They've got lots to talk about. I don't want to interrupt their fun. I should come back later. Oh, hello, Instructor Reen. Reen, sorry we were so caught up in catching up. We didn't mean to exclude you. Don't be shy, boy. Come and join us. Sure, if you don't mind. You seem to be enjoying yourselves. That's no surprise when good friends get together. They bonded during the orbital shutdown phenomenon. It's regrettable Oliver is no longer with us, and Charizard has gone missing as well. Regardless, we must stay focused on what's ahead of us and try to remain optimistic. Wise words. By the way, I'm happy to see you, Reen. Master Kafai has been telling me about you. This young man has even more potential than you, Cassius. I'm sure that's not true. He must have been teasing you. Besides, there are so many complicating factors right now. Oh, are you speaking of your background? I've heard of it, and I'm aware of the cause of your altered appearance too. Don't worry too much about what you can't change, Reen. And by the way, I got a letter about you a month ago from a certain man on an eastward journey. You don't mean Master Kafai? But I was still in prison then. Yes, so I hear. Oddly enough, it was foretold in the letter. Whether it was prophecy or just a wild guess, I cannot tell. So we finally got a face to the master, huh? A frighteningly accurate prediction. What was the letter about exactly? That's the thing, Reen. In light of the current situation, I'm afraid I cannot tell you yet. Huh. It's not the right time nor place. But to give you a rough idea, the letter regards mastery of our school of swordsmanship. In this time of turbulence, become that flashing blade which illuminates the darkness, even if for the briefest moment. Once I return from the east and we are reunited, I shall impart to you my final teachings. The forms our master passed on to me are the first Helix and the seventh Void. You, however, seem to be trying to touch on all seven forms, and in doing so, go beyond even Void. You understand how difficult such a feat will be, don't you? Of course, with the way I am now, I'm not confident I could ever achieve it. But you're right, this isn't the place to discuss it. Just keep it in mind, we'll come back to it later. I'll relay our master's message for you once the circumstances are right. We've got to see where today's talks lead to. But a time when great determination and sacrifice are needed is no doubt to come. I'll be ready for it. Oh, they got on like a house on fire. Yeah, you couldn't tell they've only just met. Having something unique in common like their fighting style brings people together. I'm feeling a bit jealous now. Looks like we're the outsiders. I totally get that though. Agate, are you feeling left out too? Nah, why would I care? Excuse me for butting in. I'm from the Crossbell Times. Could you please spare some time for a really quick interview? Your Grace? Seriously? About your job, I see. I bet Niall and Dorothy gave you their list of questions for the attendees too. Cassius and Claudia agreed to the interview. We and the others excused themselves to give them some privacy. Everyone's been moving around. There's still time to chat with attendees before dinner. Alright, yep. More people to talk to, right? Oh my goodness. Sheesh. Okay. The fun never ends. Ah, so your mom moved to Erebonia. Yeah, she couldn't stand Crossbell after splitting with my father who's Calvardian. So she moved in with some distant relatives of hers in the Empire. That was 10 years ago. Time really does fly. Oh, I think you've told me about this before. I feel like I'm forgetting something. That rings a bell, actually. Distant relatives of the noble MacDowell family and Crossbell. That would be the barons of Eastern Lemare, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, you're from Lemare yourself. You're right. Family trees can get so sprawling you can't easily tell who's related to who. In fact, the Baron's family are also distant relatives of my family. Oh. Maybe that's why your hair color's the same. That pearl gray shade is definitely unusual, but the two of you have almost the exact same shade. Ah, that's right, it runs in the family. We may be very distant cousins, but we share the same blood nonetheless. I had no idea. Huh, what a pleasant surprise. Aurelia Le Guin, a cousin. Glad to have you as my family, Ellie McDowell. Aw, that's so sweet. Uh-oh, now I'll tense up every time I talk to Ellie. And what would that be, Miss Crawford? No reason. I suppose this hints at the close ties between Erebonia and Crossbell, which stretch back centuries. Crossbell also has been cooperating with Calvin for a long time. And now they're in an awkward position when they have to choose between one ally or the other. It feels so wrong. Oh. Elisa. That's precisely the case. I probably don't have any right to say that considering my own position. No, your honesty is much appreciated. It's wonderful to talk to you, Elisa. Same. Thank you for all the advice, Ellie. It's really nice to be in the company of people who really get along. Yes, friendship is beautiful, isn't it? I heard about Ellie's mother, or at least someone who seemed like her, living in Erebonian town. I guess that's what was nagging at me earlier. Elisa and Ellie met in Crossbell and have been good friends ever since. Yuna's friends with both of them. She's an amiable girl. But I wouldn't have seen it coming that they'd be chatting with the principal. How are you doing? Very well, thank you. Just catching up with friends. We've been exchanging messages since we met 3 months ago. We discovered that we have some shared interests, huh? Shush, Ellie, don't tell him. What interest? Why is Elisa so cagey about it? Ah, wait, I have an idea. Never mind. Ellie, let's talk about that in private. Okay, we're in a similar situation anyway. I'm sure you have nothing to worry about. You'd be surprised. Next to them, I feel like a kid lost in the dark. You'll get there in time. Schwarzer, you could probably learn a thing or two from them as well. I'm not sure what the conversation was about, but I'm always reminded that there's plenty of room for me to learn from others. It's called the main character dilemma. More often than not. Alright, let me talk to these guys, then we're going to go down here to the Pantagruel area, and then we'll make our way upwards again. Oh! I spy with my little eye Ellie Schwarzer, Princess Alpin's trusted friend and the sister of the Ashen Chevalier. You're friends with Lady Mildine too, aren't you? We need to talk. If you have questions about my friends, I'd rather you talk to them directly. I'm no gossip. Oh, I wouldn't try to drag out any embarrassing stories about your friends. Nothing of the sort. You're a reporter from Crossbell? So she's your next target in your hunt for a big scoop. Oh, don't make me sound like some fierce predator. The only thing ferocious about me is my intellect. Hold on. Aren't you Ash Carbide? The guy who shot the Emperor? What's the truth behind the story? How did it feel to pull the trigger? Oh crap, what did I get myself into now? Oh my gosh. And that tall gentleman, is that the 8th Dominion of the Growlsritter? There are several topics I'd love to interview you in depth about. Not that I'm totally in the dark about what you've been up to. Wazzy, Kevin, and Reese have already spilled some beans. Did they? Don't be shy, I don't bite. Seems like this is a party corner. Brilliant, here he comes, the hero to join us. This is perfect, let's go to the empty room over there so we can talk in private. I'm not against an interview myself, but I'd much rather you didn't hound my friends and family for one. Sorry, I got a little ahead of myself there, I guess. But if there's anything you could tell me that I could quote in my report, like maybe just a short comment from each of you? That's not unreasonable, sure. Dude, speak for yourself. What if I gave her dirt on you? You're being a little overprotective. Typical Reen, really. Wow, she is just all over the place today, isn't she? Hi, I'm Kia Bannings. Ren told me lots about you, Tita. Nice to meet you, I'm Tita Russell. I can't believe it, Ren. She's so cute. Yeah, that's how most people react to her. You must be Angelica Ragnar. Nice to meet you. I'm Ren Bright. I hear you've been trained in the title style by Kilika Rorin. Oh, that's cool. It's nice to meet you, Angie. Or do you like Jellica better? I've died and gone to heaven. What? Angelica, are you alright? We're only 2,000 R's above ground, but it seems we're flying close to the heavens. Tita alone is an angel, but the three of you together form an angelic choir. No, remain calm, Angelica. Celine, what's going on here? Beats me, I was just having a nap and woke up to this. Ugh, I can't stand it anymore. There it is. Angelica? She's faster than lightning. Hug attack. Ah, my life is complete. You're just gonna stand by and watch this happen, huh, Reen? I'm just waiting for things to calm down so I can say hello. Ah, yeah, they're calm. They're calm. We're good. Cassius, how have you... There, I can't even speak. How have you been? When was it we last saw each other? Goodness, 4 years at least. I'm sorry I missed your A-rank promotion ceremony. It's coincided with the orbital shutdown phenomenon, so there was no helping it. Thank you for writing my recommendation. You're welcome. Have you managed to come to terms with Colonel Valentine passing away I was gonna say lately. Nope. Yes, I've been lucky to be surrounded by good supportive friends from the Bracer Guild and my wonderful students. Laura is one of my students. Kurt is a student of a student. I'm Laura Arce. You, sir, are a legend. It is truly an honor to meet you in person. I'm very glad to meet you too, Laura. I had the pleasure of working with Victor on the Bracer Guild branch bombing case. He praised you highly. Please accept my sincere sympathy. This loss must have hurt you deeply. Thank you, sir. My father once told me that seeing your prowess with the staff firsthand would be a beneficial experience for me. I believe you are self-taught? Not quite. I learned the basics from a friend. I also take the liberty of incorporating teachings of the 8 Leaves School into it. I'm very impressed, sir. Only those who are very talented are able to do so. Kurt, why don't you introduce yourself? Yes. I'm Kurt Vander, younger brother of the Mueller Vander and nephew of Zex Vander. Pardon me, sir. You're quite the hero. I feel a bit overwhelmed. Take it easy. I'm not all they say about me. I met your brother and uncle, but I don't believe I've ever spoken to your father. When things calm down a little, I'd like to pay a visit to your folks. I fear I've been rather impolite in not having done so yet. Oh, not at all. I'm sure my mother and father will be thrilled to meet you. Cassius has lots of connections both in the army and among the bracers. I could spend the whole evening talking to him about swordplay, but it'd be rude to monopolize him like that. I'll relay your master's message for you once the circumstances are right. But a time when great determination and a sacrifice are needed is no doubt to come. I'll have to be patient. Yeah. Oh, Reen. Come and join us? Don't mind if I do. By the way, was the Silver Streak an acquaintance of yours, Cassius? Yes, she was a pupil of mine at the guild. It's very odd that she's banished to thin air. Yes, no one seems to be able to track down her whereabouts. If she wasn't at the gnome's headquarters, could it be possible that Ouroboros abducted her? No, Shira has a relative who's among the ranks of Ouroboros. I find it hard to believe that they'd kidnap her. I think I know who you mean. Sherazard mentioned her to me when we went out drinking. Enforcer number 6, the Bewitching Bell, yes? Duvally. Yep, that's her. She showed up in Liberl during the orbital shutdown too. But unknown whether she's still alive. It seems she hasn't reported back to Ouroboros since that incident. They haven't written her off as dead yet though. It's assumed the situation is similar to Bublanc's, that she's out there somewhere going about her business. The Silver Streak was like a sister to her though. She wouldn't keep quiet if Ouroboros had abducted her. I see. You might as well drop that line of investigation. My, if it isn't the Stalwart or Duvally the Swift. You seem very well informed. I could say the same about you, especially considering you don't have ties with Ouroboros yourself. I understand now why the Faceless was remarkably wary of you. My lord is also intrigued by you. If you don't mind, I'd like to hear how you achieve mastery in so many disciplines. Oh. Swordplay, military arts, strategy. And I hear your master's disciple, Arios, is just like you. Yes, I've heard rumors about him. Just for reference, if you could tell us if there's any particular trick to it. Not that it impresses me all that much, but both you and Arce were renowned as the finest swordsman alive, so it must count for something. I can't think of many honors greater than the Maiden of Legend herself taking an interest in me. Well, ask me anything and I'll try to satisfy your curiosity, although we may not be able to go into much detail this time. That's fine. First of all, why did you give up the sword and switch to the staff? Indubitably so easy to read. But that's part of her charm. She's polite to everyone and doesn't look down on others even if they're her enemy. As expected of the Steel Maiden's disciple, I look up to her as well. I would like to know about why he switched from the sword to the staff as well, but that's gonna have to wait. Oh. Rosine and Agate, and everyone else. Hi, Schwarzer. Hey guys, you're discussing armed forces movements on different fronts? Rosine, I'm surprised to see you with them. I've got my reasons. As you overheard, we're trying to get a better picture of where each militarized faction is allocating its resources. Besides the Viceland Army, I wanted to check in with the Bracers and the Armored Divisions too. I've also been looking into the Armored Division's movements. It seems they've established a new squad. The Guild's also keeping an eye on the situation. We're tracking high-ranking Jaeger Corps movements and gauging the neighboring countries' responses. It'd be helpful to trade info with you guys. I see. And you're also gathering intel on military movements, Rosine? As a matter of fact, yes. There is no organization that understands and fears the Great Twilight more than the Septian Church. The details are confidential, but we've already decided on which measures to take. Seriously? I can only imagine what that means. We'll all benefit from cooperating. But in any case, we'll return to Operation Mill Mirage at dinner. For now, let's just take a break. Sounds like a plan. I can't wait to hear the details of the operation, but I've got to be patient. I should walk around some more. We got a lot of red markers to go through, so yeah. Hold on. Here we go. Josette. And Altina. Have there been any updates on Hercules? We're still unable to locate them. With the Ramda's stealth function and mobility of the gunship, they're very hard to track down. We're not gonna give up, of course. I heard you requested the Bracer Guild's help with this. Yes, although they also haven't been able to dig up any new information since we lost sight of the Hercules in the canyon. I've heard about that from the guild too. I guess when a special forces squad equipped with the latest technology wants to disappear, it took a miracle to track them down. The Ramda. We've seen firsthand in Heimdall how its spatial projection function can seriously impede pursuit. If they'd only surrender, there'd be room for negotiations with Erebonia. But maybe the curse has progressed too far for that. The Dark Dragon made the members of the Hercules squad into its kin back in Heimdall. The Great Twilight must have taken that and twisted them into Noctfamlia. Noctfamlia. Those are vampires from Erebonian folklore, if I'm not mistaken. Is there any way to make them human again? It's possible if you act quickly. If you find them within a few days, they should be fine. So that's our time frame. Kaela, let me know if you pick up their trail. You might be able to help in some capacity. You're volunteering to help? That's much appreciated. Yeah. Alright, let's see now. We got 4 more people, or 4 more groups. Before the main event, right? Hey, Reen. Don't be a stranger, come join us. What have you guys been talking about? Jaeger troop movements and stuff related to the war. As well as Ouroboros' presumed plans. I've been wondering about those things too. Right now, it looks like both are serving the Imperial government just like the gnomes. That's really a nasty mix if you ask me. The old Northern Jaegers and Nidhogg are in a different situation though. Yeah, the Imperial Defense Force forced them to cooperate using hostages. They're currently looking for a chance to free them. What they do from now on depends on whose pocket they find themselves in this time. Shirley's a key member of the Red Constellation, so you can be sure they're in tune with Ouroboros' schemes. As for Zephyr, the gnomes hired them, but it's ultimately up to the boss to decide what they do. I don't know the details yet. There's also Ouroboros Enhanced Jaegers, the troops the former 3rd Anguis deployed during the incident in Liberl. Yeah, you and the others encountered some of them in Hamel. Between all of you, you've got a decent intelligence network to draw on. You make for a really good team. Yeah. And if there's any info we don't have, the Divine Blade and the Golden Rakshasa are here too. It's hard to believe Muse managed to get all these guys under one roof. Indeed it is. Although if you see it into her mindscape, you'd be surprised. It's been a long time since we last met. We haven't had the chance to speak since Trade Conference 2 years ago. It's nice to see you again. And you, I'm glad you all seem to be doing well. Lady Mildine, it's also the first time in many years that I have the pleasure to talk with you. While I wouldn't call these the ideal circumstances, I'm delighted. You're a most impressive young lady now. You flatter me. It's good to have some chat about non-official affairs, yes? So, you've known each other for a while? Prince Albert was a good friend of my late father. Yes, we met for the first time over a decade ago. Somehow, Alfred and I got on fabulously well right from the start. We'll talk about politics, economics, and social issues from evening till the early morning hours. The lakes and marshes of Emeferia enchanted Alfred, and he'd often bring his family there. This takes me back. I was just a little girl back then, but I vaguely remember our visits. I mostly played with your niece. She was the same age as me, I believe. I'd like to see her again. Ah, that's right. You two really liked each other, didn't you? Speaking of your niece. Oh, that's right. I haven't seen her in ages. There have been some rumors going about her, yeah? She's become intractable lately. As her uncle, I want to protect her, but she's certainly not making it easy. Sometimes I think she does it just to spite me. He's gotten really grumbly. He must care a lot about his niece, though he does seem a bit overprotective. Oh, he's always been like this. Apologies for the digression. I didn't mean to bore you with my family issues. Emeferia will gladly provide you with assistance, be it human resources or medical services. If the Triple S needs anything, do not hesitate to let me know. Tio, I'm aware of your family situation. If there's anything I can do. Thank you for the kind offer. It isn't as bad now, though. We've even been keeping in touch more. Ah, that's a relief. Prince Albert is a friendly guy. And Muse's known him for a long time. Looks like she's made connections early on. I should say hello to the prince, too. Alright, well, we're good on that front. 2 more. Claudia, I'm terribly sorry about earlier. I was taken aback. I lost my composure. Thank you for being so kind to me. Oh, of course. Considering the subject, it was no wonder you became agitated. You have a huge responsibility on your shoulders as a representative of the Imperial family. Thank you for being so understanding. Now that rings an alarm bells. I'll just wait for an announcement at dinner and try not to worry for now, but... Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm Estelle Bright, member of the Liberl Bracer Guild. It's a good honor to meet you in person, Princess Alphen. There's no need to be so formal with me. I've heard so much about you from my brother. I feel like we're already friends. Ah. Olivier was a dear friend, and what happened to him was a terrible shock. He went out of his way to get permission from me and Joshua to visit Hamel once things had been settled down in Liberl. When we heard what happened to him, we were all so heartbroken and angry. Me, Joshua, Shara, we all wished there was something we could have done to stop it. But I'm sure all our grief is nothing compared to what you must be going through. Estelle, thank you for having been a good friend to my brother. I feel a little better knowing there were people who cared so much about him. Oliver was a very thoughtful and brave man, and a lot fun to be around. When I was hesitant about whether to accept my duty as a crown princess, he gave me the push I needed. He also fostered friendly relations between Ereboni and Liberl. Despite his airhead appearance, he was a smart leader. Thank you, Claudia. He teased me for being so easily moved to tears. You come out with a line like, "At a time such as this, I'd like you to be the ray of sunshine which makes courage bloom." That does sound like him. Regrettably, I never had the chance to meet Prince Oliver in person. However, I heard about him encouraging greater integration and cooperation between all nations of the continent. Please accept my sincere condolences, Princess Alphen. Thank you, Lucy. By the way, you were Claudia's upperclassman at school, weren't you? Really? Oh my gosh. Actually, Chloe did tell us about the lector person before. Does that mean... That's correct. I went to Liberl to study at Genius Royal Academy. I was on the student council together with Lector Arundel. You two looked after me really well back then. It made my school life that much more enjoyable. What a small world. He's an Ironblood and a member of the Intelligence Division. He's a stranger person than I thought. But wait, the famously beautiful vice president who'd force the student council president to listen to her no matter what? Ah, that'd be me. Chloe, I wish you didn't spread exaggerated rumors about me. Sorry, but they're not exaggerated at all. Even now, I can't forget that time you were asked about the most important thing in the world and responded with strength. Now you're just trying to embarrass me. Wait, did I really say that to you? Not directly. I overheard your conversation with Hans. So you were following me around and listening on my conversations with other students? Ha! I wouldn't have guessed they knew each other so well. Oliver was so beloved by people from different backgrounds. It's a real shame he died so young. I'd be curious to hear more about Claudia and Lucy's school life too. Now Lecter stands on the opposite side of his former classmates. I'm sure I'll cross paths with him again, and with Claire too. Sorry, Reen, here we are talking amongst ourselves again and leaving you out. I can get going and free up some space. No, please, don't leave on my account. You haven't seen each other in a while. I'm sure you have a lot to talk about. Getting to exchange a few words with you in person has already been a great honor. With luck, we'll meet again and have a longer chat then. You're too humble, Reen. Indeed. That reminds me, weren't you one of the testers for the Orbital Communication Framework? I also got a test account from Ren. What would you say to exchanging network addresses? Are you sure? Why not? Don't be shy. Princess Claudia doesn't limit her circle of friends to the upper classes. When she enrolled at the academy, she did so under an assumed name in order to be treated like any normal girl. Lucy, I don't need a spokesperson. Okay, in that case, I'll gladly give you my network address. It shouldn't become a diplomatic issue if we're just playing a game together, I hope. Awesome. Last but not least, final door. Final group. Thank you for the invitation, President Rocksmith. There's no need to be so tense in my presence, Machias. Would you like a cup of coffee? There's tea for me and coffee with milk and sugar for Miss Herschel. It would seem Calvary's intelligence agency is staffed with only the very elite. Well, their human resources are going to change now, as the new party takes over from me. Is that right? Toa Herschel, we met at the West Zemuria Trade Conference 2 years ago, isn't that right? If my memory doesn't fail me, you had coffee with milk and sugar at the banquet. Your memory is excellent. That's Samuel Rocksmith, the president of Calvard. As with most people in power, he easily dominates the atmosphere with his presence. Even though he's on the way out, he's still a very influential man. Let's get to talking. My, welcome, Ashen Chevalier. Unfortunately, I haven't been informed what your beverage of choice might be, but since you're so well versed in Eastern culture, perhaps green tea would be to your liking. Oh, thank you, but I dropped in only for a brief chat. I wouldn't want to make a nuisance of myself. I imagine there are plenty of others who would like to speak with you today. By the way, I wanted to ask for your opinion on your colleague Toa Herschel. Wouldn't you say that her conflict resolution talents are perfect for CID? President Rocksmith. I didn't see that coming. I heard you were bold, sir, but I never thought you'd suggest something quite that bold. I'm nowhere near as audacious as the Chancellor. Soon I won't have much authority anymore. However, I really can't stand seeing young talent not being put to good use. It's quite fortunate we met today. If you have any gifted friends who might be inclined to move to Calvard, let me know. I'll gladly welcome them with open arms. Sorry, no one comes to mind. You're really not one to beat around the bush. Alright, and that leaves the main event. Alright, well on that note guys, I'm going to end it here for today. I want to thank you all for watching. All we pretty much had were like some large conversations, and though they were important, there wasn't much action going on, and I get it. But we should be approaching that soon enough in the next one guys, so thank you all again for watching.